The Joint Standing Committee on the Financial Management of Parliament has received a comprehensive progress report on the rebuilding of infrastructure destroyed in the 2022 fire. This follows the committee's first site visit in the 7th Parliament to the rebuilding project. Let's now bring in Sanny Ndhlovu, who is the co-chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on the Financial Management of Parliament. Mr. Ndhlovu, thank you so much for joining us and a very good evening to you. If you could just tell us about the oversight visit to track this progress on the refurbishment and rebuilding of parts of Parliament. I think you may be muted.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you nice and clear. Thank you. You may go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, Ms. Masakitana and the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. I must indicate, yes, there's a restoration of Parliament that is merely not construction project. It is about restoring the nation's democratic home. Yes, indeed, following the devastation fire, Parliament took a decision with concurrence from National Treasury and the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to lead the restoration under the Financial Management of Parliament and Provincial Legislature Act, which is the FAMPLA. With the Development Bank as the DBSA serving as an implementing agent. As a Joint Standing Committee, we have been exercising rigorous financial and technical governance oversight at every stage to ensure accountability. Thank you.
So you've been saying, you just said that you've been doing rigorous financial management of every stage of this. So how did the budget go from 2 billion rand in 2023 to a whopping 4.4 billion rand in just 2 years? I mean, how was this explained to you as the joint committee members?
Yes, I must indicate, Ms. Ketan, that indeed we as a standing committee, at an initial stage, there was an amount of 2.2 billion. And at the, after realizing that indeed there is an extra activities that has happened, especially there were 3 buildings that has to be built, which is the new assembly and the old assembly, and also the refurbishment of the Nanti-plane. Then there was a need, also a necessity of the extra extension of approximately, that is a 4.4 billion as the latest estimated. And we are working as a committee to manage that cost tightly as going forward.
What assurance can you give South Africans that you will be monitoring it tightly? Because over 2 years, it's seemingly almost doubled. How do we know that it won't double again?
The cost escalation reflects the number of factors in any way. Firstly, the severity of the damage suffered by the Parliament buildings, including the fire, the structural issues, the heritage requirement, and also the inflation in construction and material, which has been has been particularly high in recent years. And I must indicate that as a standing committee, we are also monitoring, and there is a standing committee that is comprised of the Auditor General, the Public Works, and also the committee that is also responsible for managing the DPSA, that is the implementing agent. They are accounting to the Joint Standing Committee on a weekly basis as we request them to come and account to Parliament.
Ms. Ndhlovu, do you think that over 4 billion rand is worth it? I mean, I know you refer to it as restoring the nation's democratic home, but when we're looking at various departments that are, under-resourced and cash is quite strapped, and when we're looking at even the matter of housing, just this weekend, there's adverse weather that's been warned, and that people will be losing their homes possibly, and there's still a backlog of people who are flood victims from previous adverse weather. So would you say it's justified for the average South African to know that their tax money is going to be spent in the amount of over 4 billion rand for Parliament?
Definitely, if I can indicate, Ms. Kitana, currently the building that has been that has been utilized before the fire it has about 400 seats internal. So currently, the new building it has got 1,000 to have 1,120 seats, which is bigger than the old buildings. Secondly, there are also the extra committee rooms that has also been part of the new building that will be erected or be built by the DSA and also the constructions. So we believe that having those buildings it will going to assist, and it will show that indeed there is a need for the extra money to be built in Parliament.
So the extra space and the extra capacity as well, who is it going to benefit?
Obviously, currently there is we are doing our meetings through Zoom, and then the members are not able to share because of the views, because of the network challenge. So if there is many buildings, lots of committees where they sit, they will be able to make sure that whatever the committee's decisions that are alluded to, that must be communicated to the public, are able to be assisted, and the public will be able to know and exactly what is happening in Parliament. There are many things that has, break us to make sure that we don't communicate well to the public, especially through this the virtual meetings, and we are not able to communicate well to the public. And then I think by increasing the sittings, sometimes we find that when we have to sit, there's a double bookings, and the meetings that has to be communicated, it becomes a challenge, and there is a lot of cancellation. So double creation of another committee rooms, it will going to assist us as Parliament to communicate well, and the Parliament and the public will be able to hear how we take the decisions.
And just finally, as the Joint Standing Committee, are you confident that these delays will stop? Because as there's been delays, there's obviously more increase to the cost as well. There's been yet another delay. Are you confident that it will be completed within this time frame, this time?
Definitely. Last week we had an oversight whereby the contractor, the implementing agency, and the contractors. We have 3 contractors on site, and they were able to show us building by building, like your new building of the National Assembly, the old National Assembly, and we also went to the Nantiplain Street, whereby there's a renovation there. So as committee, we are very much confident that the contractors, they will be able to meet the deadline. And we believe that every time when we call them, we will be able to get the report. Remember, the Auditor General is also part of the steering committee. So they are making sure that on a weekly basis, or as we request them to account to the committee, they are also have their own meetings to highlight some of the areas that are so important for the committee to know and understand.
Ms. Sanny Ndhlovu, thank you so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate it. That, of course, was the co-chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on the Financial Management of Parliament.